Hi everyone, so my name is Erin, and I'm also part of this little cheer team situation going on this YouTube channel. Please excuse the face situation slash neon orange shirt slash like my background at the moment. Yeah, I'm not the cleanest, but anyways, I'm going to be doing videos like everyone else on this channel about cheer problems and ranting. I also kind of want to throw some like makeup videos and maybe like hair videos. I'm not really good at the hair, but like, stuff like that, just to give it some variety on this channel. But basically, I don't feel like doing that tonight, so I am going to make a video about flying. So I'm obviously not a flyer. I'm 5'10". Yeah, I'm not a flyer. But basically, I'm going to give this video sort of from my perspective of what makes a good flyer, what's going to make it easiest for your stunt group to fly you, what bad habits are when you're flying. So let me just start off with that. So the first thing is that flyers need to be small. And I bet a lot of people, even like it's common sense, if you're going to be lifting people, they got to be small. And I'm not talking like the skinniest people on earth, but they need to be short and they need to be skinny. And that's the point of being a flyer. So, I mean, obviously there's exceptions and there could just be people with like a crazy amount of like muscle that they can tighten and it just makes themselves lighter. But usually flyers are small people. So if you are too tall and you can't hold your own muscle, but you're still very small, it's very hard to fly. And the reason for that being, and I know from experience, if you are too tall to be flying, it's going to make it difficult for everyone. Because first of all, you're not going to look like you're getting thrown as high as the little girls are being thrown. And I don't know why that is, honestly, but I've seen it like firsthand. Like, it just doesn't look right when a taller girl opposed to a shorter one is being thrown. Also, even if you are taller, that still adds more weight opposed to being from like if you're 5 or 5'2", and then being like 5'8", 9. It's gonna make it so much more difficult just because you have that extra tallness weight, and it just makes you heavier. And I'm not saying that like that's a bad thing that you're tall, because I am tall and tallness we represent. You know how we do. But basically, it just makes life so much easier for your stunt group. And again, there's also exceptions, because there could be a really tall flyer and all that jazz. But usually, you gotta be small to play the part. Okay, so that kind of like brings me on to the second part, which I was like talking about before, is that flyers need to be able to hold their own weight. So that is probably almost one of the main parts of being a flyer. Overall, like flexibility and like everything like that. You need to what was I saying? Oh, okay. So the most important, in my opinion, the most important part of being a flyer is holding your own weight. So on my team, we do something called hang drills, and for flyers, they sort of like try out, like, we're gonna see like who can hold themselves up, who can do all this, who can do all that, and basically, if you can't hold your own weight on a hang drill, guaranteed you are not going to be better than the flyer who can. The reason is because if you don't hold your own weight, especially going up, it's going to get harder for your stunt group to lift you up into your whatever stunt you're doing. And then also it's going to be so much harder to hold. And basically the whole part about being a flyer is like you really have to stiffen and like try to bring up your weight as much as possible. And if you really can't hold your own weight, I mean, that is kind of like different from stiffening, but it's still very important just because it's like a main component of getting yourself up there and then being able to hold your weight anywhere, honestly. You just need to hold your own. And then, so that brings me to my next point, which is stiffening. So stiffening is also, I think, like, stiffening and being able to hold your own weight are like the two top things of being a flyer. You need to stiffen. You need to squeeze everything God gave you, as in your butt, as in like everything. Oh, knowing from like being on the ground and like lifting other people, you kind of know what the difference between having a flyer stiffen and then feeling their dead weight when they don't stiffen. So that's basically, if a flyer doesn't stiffen, your stunt group is going to get a crazy amount of dead weight. And dead weight is the worst. It is the worst because you are just holding like all this weight that is so unnecessary. And if you're going up into extension, which is like all the way up instead of like here, it's going to be so much harder for you to lift, and it's just going to be so much heavier. Another thing that's really important to being a good flyer is to kind of be fearless. And now, I know, like, obviously not all, like, flyers are going to be uncertain about doing certain stunts, and that's basically because they're being thrown or, like, held up in the air by people. They're not on the ground, and that's sort of an unnatural thing to do. So it's totally understandable, but if you're going to be a flyer, you can't be afraid of heights. You can't be afraid of being outgoing with your stunts. As in, if your stunt group is like, oh, I think we're ready, let's try a new stunt. You can't be like, guys, I don't think so. I think we'll just stick to a prep. We don't need a twist down. We don't need a fancy basket toss. We'll just do regular. Like, no, you need to be, like, spot on with your stunts. You need to go along with your stunt group. If you all think that you're ready for it, then go for it. There shouldn't be anything, there shouldn't be fear stopping you. And I could totally understand if you don't, like, really think your stunt group can handle it and you're going to be putting, like, your safety into their hands and you can't do that. But if you know inside that your stunt group is probably going to be able to handle it and hold you and stuff and catch you, but you just kind of don't want to do it, BS. You need to be able to put yourself in a mindset that's like, oh, I can do whatever stunt you want me to. Because if you freak out up there in, like, while you're being thrown or, like, while you're just being held up, you are going to fall, and that just makes everyone unhappy. Your stunt group is going to look like crap, and it's just not a good time, really. It's just annoying, and it's basically your fault if you freak out in the air, because your stunt group's just, like, holding you, and then you're like, ah, and then you fall. I mean, it's no one else's fault but yours. And that sort of brings me to my next point of not freaking out in the air. So it's kind of like being not scared of doing stunts and stuff, and it also relates to stiffening. When you're being held up in the air / being thrown into whatever you're doing, a basket toss, a cradle, whatever you're doing, a backflip, you cannot flail in the air. That is just a major no-no. You just can't do it. If if you flail in the air, you are first of all putting everyone on the ground in your stunt group in danger, because you're gonna kick someone or you're gonna punch someone and they're gonna get a black eye, or they're gonna get a bloody nose, or even worse, they're gonna get a concussion if you kick them in the head. And that's so unnecessary if you can just stay stiff. If you are falling, the most important thing to do is, like, stiffen everything and don't flail. That is the most important thing. If you are falling, you just fall and hope that someone catches you. And I know every stunt group is dedicated to their flyer because they don't want their flyer getting hurt. So you just gotta fall, and you just gotta stiffen, you gotta put your legs together, you gotta put your arms together, you just gotta fall, and you gotta fall straight, and you gotta fall stiff. Because if you don't, you know that people are gonna be pissed. It's not gonna look clean, it's not gonna look good, and it's just gonna look so bad. Even if you're getting, like, super high, like all the way up to the ceiling, opposed to someone who is doing a clean, like, low basket toss or whatever stunt you're doing, theirs is gonna look 10 times better because the flyer is staying stiff. And it's also much easier to catch a stiff flyer. Speaking from the ground level, it's so much easier to just catch, like, a stiff flyer and, like, just catching them nonchalantly. That we will be there to catch you, other than a flailing one, because you gotta be like, you want to just be like, okay, I'm not getting kicked in the face today. I don't want a black eye for picture day tomorrow. This is just not happening. And you're gonna bolt, and then the flyer's gonna get hurt, and then you're gonna, like, be blamed for it, and it's just a mess. Just don't flail in the air. Just don't, please. Hopefully, I think one of our great flyers on our team, we'll make a video about flying from a flyer's perspective, but I'm just saying, and I'm giving you some advice about flying from a ground stunt group, if that makes any sense. And it's just so important for you to stay stiff, be able to hold yourself up, and don't flail in the air. I think those are my 3 points in this video. And then be fearless and be outgoing and be confident in what you are doing, and you will be a great flyer. And I guarantee it. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I hope I'm giving some good points. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on this one. So I'm just going to do the whole YouTube outro. Like, rate, comment, subscribe to this wonderful channel to see more of me and more of my teammates and more of these videos and all this stuff, because we are going to be ranting through these seasons. And anyways, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So make sure you watch all of my teammates' videos scroll down, I know Ashley has made a video of Faith, Julia, Janessa. I mean, they have some good videos, so I would watch them. So anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!